ZAPS 120. Chris Borges first beast. Chris Borges first beast apocalypse. Zombie apocalypse pandemic survival coming at you live. It's 2:23 here. Bright, beautiful sunny day afternoon here in Orange County, California. I'm your host Chris Borges, the Chris Borges First the Beast podcast. What's up? What's going on, everybody? It's November 10th, 2021. That was Thrice's Scavenger song off their new album, Horizons East, out now. Been out since September 17th, and definitely recommend any of those songs from that album. Super good music. Yeah, jumping right into it. We have a lot of well, there's some really good news. I just got on YouTube for the for ZAPS, Zombie Apocalypse Pandemic Survival. Been doing this 120 episodes now, and I finally figured out how to get this onto YouTube. So I made its very own ZAPS YouTube channel for you guys to go check out and subscribe to. And I'm really stoked for that. Just that in general. I got one video already uploaded for you guys. And I'm gonna be doing daily content and be making sure I get stuff uploaded on there daily for you guys to come check out. It's gonna be exactly like the Joe Rogan experience kind of deal, like where he does daily podcasts or I guess weekly podcasts and stuff like that. He does like his jiu-jitsu and all that kind of stuff. So it's the exact same kind of thing. Have people over and discussing topics about surfing, movies, music, all that kind of cool stuff. Electronics, gadgets, automobiles, different types of cars. That's the kind of stuff I'm into, and like reselling and like selling items and different items and this and that, and surf spots and this and that. So that's what mostly I pertain to: movie reviews, music reviews, all that kind of stuff. Just very basic, small stuff. I'm really stoked for that. I plan on making this part of my this channel. The YouTube channel, ZAPS YouTube channel, ZAPS Anchor podcast, and all that kind of stuff. My main kind of center. The YouTube channel is going to be the center of my business. I do selling. I sell items. I have my own eBay account, Amazon account. I do online and local reselling. I do like automobile. I buy automobiles, sell automobiles, all that kind of stuff, and I constantly learn about automobile parts and stuff like that, and like different types of cars and stuff like that. That's what I'm into, and that's what I do. It's my hobby. I also do like painting. I have an art collection that I'm slowly starting to build up. I haven't got into it actually for about a year or two right now, and I'm just about to have time to actually start painting and stuff like that. So besides the painting and all that kind of stuff, I also do books. I have a fourth novel coming out called Some Things Are Sacred. It's like a kind of like a mutant horror love story, horror horror tragedy kind of a book that I'm actually making into a short film, like cartoon animation film, about like a very short one, about 15 to about 30 minutes long. And Some Things Are Sacred is going to be out, I believe, of April of next year, April or May of next year, early May or late April, whatever time I can actually put it out ASAP for you guys. As well as I have besides that, I'm also making a video game for my third novel actually written called A Hawaiian Haunting. It's going to be the prequel actually to the main character's life, day-to-day life before he passed away in the beginning of the book. And I actually have five more books and 5 more short films and video games coming out for my actual books that I wrote. They're already written out in my head, and they're on my computer. I just have to flesh them out onto paper and to make the actual books for them, and then make the actual short films for them and all that kind of stuff. But the video game is going to be definitely a very fun new project for me, because I've only done very small, like very like basic level jump up and down. I haven't really, you know what I mean, just like it's kind of like Super Mario Bros. Instead of like really technical like strategic video game kind of stuff, because I go through Unity instead of 3D, so it's the very basic stuff. But for this, for a Hawaiian Haunting, for this one, it's going to be like a surfing video game / like farming, fishing, spearfishing, kind of ocean, kind of a video game coming out that I'm making. And that's not going to be done to the end of next year for sure. There's a lot of stuff I still have to make for it. I've made the background scenery. I've made the entire world for it already on top of Unity, but I still have to make the waves come in and out. I have to make the sun go down and the moon come up, and transition throughout the gameplay, and be able to make the main character do like fishing and surfing, because it revolves around his farmhouse, reef break, where he actually lives at. He fishes there, he lives there, he resides there, but the whole main concept of it is it's like a bodyboarding slash surfing slash kind of like a shore break video game. So it's like it mostly pertains to him just surfing the actual reef break and sandbar, and every single day the waves change. It's like it can be like very mushy, 1 to 2 foot mushy, to like 10, 20 feet overhead, and like just barreling and going crazy outside there. So it's like, there'll be stormy days, calm days, flat days, and that's when you'd be farming or fishing and doing stuff around the house and all that kind of stuff. So and growing his taro patch, like the river stream and all that kind of stuff, and going in the woods and hunting. So that's what it's going to be about, and it's a prequel to the book that I actually written, called The Hawaiian Haunting. So this one's going to be, I don't know if I'm thinking about naming it Aina Nalu or Nalu, or like something really cool, or like Heiau, or like some really cool name besides The Hawaiian Haunting. I don't know. I might just keep it as Hawaiian. I don't know. The thing is, I shouldn't be even saying this about my video game, because it's a lot of information to I guess, to spur out beforehand, before it's even made, before like some video game company like takes my idea and like totally rips me off. So that's why I feel like I shouldn't say it, but I already said it, so whatever. I just hope no one steals my idea. And man, I almost don't even want. I swear to God, you guys, I kind of paused for a second. I almost don't want to release this information, actually, because it's kind of very like good information that like pro video game guys can actually use to make my video game. Because they have teams for this stuff, and they're always looking for new ideas and new concepts and stuff. But I don't know. I'm a one-man team. I'll just make it super horrible. I'll probably make a very horrible rendition of this video game and then just put it out. I would like to get it on like Nintendo Switch and PS5 and the Xbox X Series, or whatever they call it these days, and just get them on all the platforms, and Steam, on the computer, and all that kind of stuff. I have a buddy, I have a few friends actually are like professional game makers, so they kind of like help me out throughout the way in this process and stuff. So they tell me just give them a call once they start running through the process. So it's very tough when you're a solo, game designer and all that kind of stuff, and making all that kind of stuff. And it just goes along with anything like that, but it's whatever. I don't have like a whole team around me to like make this stuff happen. It's just I just chip away at what I can at every single day. Besides that, I've been doing like live music shows for my band Nalu. We started going on Twitch, because I have a webcam. I actually have my own webcam now, so I'm gonna be doing like live shows, and also doing like little light work tarot card reading on the side as well too, in between breaks of music sessions, stuff like that. So should be pretty cool. See how that works. I've done it before in the past. I made it, made some good money on it. I wanted to see if that whole trade-off, or just like a little combo, might actually work, and I might actually make some money off of that. So we'll see. I don't know. It just depends. I'm not a very big Twitch host right now. I'm actually very little. I probably only have like 20, 40, 60 subscribers, something like that, on my channel. So we'll see how that goes. I also plan on doing wave photography. I'm going to be ordering my water housing camera for my Canon 80D in the next few weeks. Once I get a few bucks coming in. So I'll be doing like wave photography and all that kind of stuff, doing shore break photography, reef break photography, with my boogie board and my fins and all that kind of stuff, my wetsuit, be going out. I might even do services for surfers and stuff like that, if they need like a filmer and all that kind of stuff, or a wave photographer for them. I also do sunset photography too, as well, in the water. So I do really cool like water imagery kind of stuff, like even underwater stuff too. I do like of the fishies, of the sea, and all that kind of stuff. So can't wait to get that going. That should be pretty cool. I haven't done it here. I mostly done it in Hawaii, most of my wave photography work, but it should be pretty cool. Same kind of concept. I know where some really good, I know where actually a lot of really good hidden little surf gems, surf spots are, that nobody ever, I haven't even seen any guys out, and it's actually pretty good. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I've scanned the beach coast and stuff like that. I've walked for many miles by myself, like where there's nobody around, just empty lifeguard stands, and I've seen really good surf breaks at certain points. So so I know where they are. It's hard to just catch it on a really good day. The thing is, you have to really understand the weather pattern, the weather reporting, and you have to understand wave currents and swell formations and what times of the year that typically holidays is a really good time for some reason. I don't know why that is, but just over my lifetime I've just learned that any type of holiday that comes up, usually if I look at the wave cams, it's usually good waves. I don't know why, it's just a weird thing. It just happens, so happens to be that way. As well as obviously scattered throughout the year, there's one, two, three, 4 day wave swells and all that kind of stuff that just sparsely scattered throughout the year and stuff that come through. So yeah, I kind of just got to be like kind of a wave hound to actually be able to catch it on that really perfect nice day where it's actually good for like filming and doing photography and stuff. So luckily I know about all that stuff, so I'm going to be doing that too as well too, and be selling they're actually called if you guys don't know, they're called G clay prints. All G clay prints are is just a very, very kind of expensive brown tannish kind of paper, or even white paper even as well too. But like what it is if you get like a big Epson printer or like a big Canon printer, like I'm talking like a major like office like printing office and stuff like that, with like I'm talking one of those gigantic printers, like the $2,000, $5,000 printers. You can actually make like from very small to very, very room sized, living room sized G clay prints, and that's what I specialize in as well too. Like it's just very expensive for the inks and all that kind of stuff, but the pricing, like I mean, they go for very good money. Like if you don't, small ones usually go for about 25, the mediums about 50, 75, the larger ones anywhere from 100 to a couple grand, depending on how much ink it takes for those shots and stuff like that for the wave, because people love waves, they love sunsets, they love the ocean. I've made a ton of sales over my life doing G clay prints and stuff like that, and it's so worth it. The paper is amazing. I usually have like a very inexpensive wood frame in the back, unless it's a very expensive big order, I'll put really like I'll get like a really nice wooden frame for it, but usually for the smaller ones I have just a very basic kind of plain wood framing in the back, and it looks really beautiful, the finished product. It's definitely worth it. So plan on doing some wave G clays starting next year for sure, beginning of next year. We're gonna be doing as well as automobiles. I've been learning a lot about automobiles again. My uncle's a professional auto mechanic and stuff like that, and I have a whole bunch of people who I just know of who just can help me with automobile stuff, because I plan on doing automobile work, like selling automobile parts out of my eBay shop, and I plan on just selling even whole cars and stuff. Just it's a case by case kind of a thing, especially with cars, because sometimes selling the whole car to somebody is a better idea than just putting it in a lot that you rent out or own, or somebody, or your backyard and stuff, and just selling piece by piece the car and all that kind of stuff to just people around the world and stuff like that. So luckily I do have a eBay, Amazon account, a very big, very substantial account that I can actually put thousands of items and stuff on top of there. So you can end up, instead of selling a car for $1,000, if you part it out correctly, you can possibly make anywhere between, double your money to like, quadruple to even, a very, very large amount more than you would have if you sold it individually. So it just depends on the make, the model, the year, everything, how good the pieces are, how good the parts are, how good all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's very, as you guys know, automobiles are very intricate, very, very more than meets the eye, especially when it comes to just like the engine work and all the very technical stuff that goes into it. They're very expensive parts in there and stuff that people don't know about, and stuff a lot of people don't know about. There's just a lot of information to know about, especially with automobiles and stuff like that. It's just very, but if you know about that stuff, it's very lucrative if you know how to sell it correctly. So that's what I've been getting into and stuff, trying to make that another stream of mine, another avenue. I'll probably mostly be specializing in just like Toyotas and Hondas and stuff, because that's what, not even Nissans or Volvos or any of that kind of stuff. I'll mostly probably be specializing in Toyota and Honda, because it's just the best ones that everybody knows about. The Japanese automobiles, obviously are some of the best in the world, and they're very highly sought after and stuff. And um, it's yeah. So that's mostly what I'll be specializing in is those two. Besides the all, and of course, you know, a plethora of other models and stuff like that too along the way, of course. But I would like to get into higher end stuff, you know, Ferrari, Lamborghini, uh, and a whole bunch of other ones. It's just not going. It's not registering in my brain right now. But all that kind of stuff, all that high end stuff. Eventually, I would like to get into that. You know, chargers, all that kind of stuff too as well. Um, it's just, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, it's very expensive, and if you don't know what you're doing, you can really lose a lot of money if you really mess up and buy it too high, sell it for too low, all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those things that, you know, you just really got to know what you're doing to, like, because, you know, it's a lot of money involved. So well, that's one thing is, you know, it's just for me, I just started the very basic. Like, I just started, like, you know, just learning the car names. And then I'll start learning the engine part names and how everything works and all that kind of stuff. And eventually I'll work my way up to all that kind of stuff, reselling and buying and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of websites for that. There's eBay, Amazon. There's obviously a ton of auto shops and stuff like that, and auto technicians all around, and you know, I mean, it's one of the main businesses in the world. That it's kind of underground even to this day, like, just, you know, because it's just such a tough niche to really grasp a hold of very well. It's one of those ones that it's just like you either know it or you don't kind of a thing. It's, you know, and me, I went into this not knowing. Actually, I didn't know hardly any much because I grew up in Hawaii, and you know, my house was like, you know, literally like 10 steps from the sand and the beach. Like, I was like I had like a beachfront, basically a beachfront front home. Literally had to just cross the street and I'll be right at the beach, just walk over. So I never needed a vehicle or anything like that. Like, so, and nobody really around that I knew of really was super into cars and stuff like that. So I'm a late bloomer into automobiles. But ever since I got into California, even when I moved to Utah, I still didn't need it because my job was so close. Like, I got a job that was like literally a block away from where I live, so I just biked to work. So I'm very late bloomer when it comes to auto mechanics, but I'm very quick learner. Like, you'll be surprised of how much I've learned within the past 6 months or a year. Like, I'm very attuned with different types of models of cars now. Very in tune with how the engine works and how the gasoline flows throughout the entire thing and all the components throughout just every type of vehicle and stuff like that. I'm aware of a lot of vehicle names and different types of cool vehicles and stuff like that, you know. But obviously I don't know all of it. I mean, I'm just very beginner, very novice. But it's a very interesting hobby topic to get into, automobiles and stuff like that, because I really love cars. I don't like to race. I'm not the racing guy. Excuse me. Apologize for the music. Yeah, I'm not a racing guy per se for now because I just never was into it, and I don't feel comfortable racing yet. But I definitely will be in the future if you know, I find some friends and stuff so that I have to go racing at the race tracks and all that or wherever. But right now I'm still even just trying to get a nice car because right now I only have a Volvo. But already my mind is already shifting to different types of cars just because every day I learn about cars. I'm just like, oh, that's a sick one, I want to get that one. Oh, dang, that's a super sick one, I want to get that one. So that's why it's like every day you learn and you grow kind of a thing. Yeah, I love muscle cars. I love the look of them. I love the sound of a lot of the engines. But the thing is, you know, they're highly sought after, very expensive. So I don't have that kind of money to just drop, you know, 10, 20 grand on a super sick old school classic. That's for way down in the road. I'll probably get one. But as far as just like a cool car, like, I'm happy with just a Honda right now. Honestly, I'm happy with just a Honda, or maybe like a 350Z, or maybe like a Honda Accord, Honda Civic, or probably getting a truck next because I do a lot of selling and stuff like that. I buy a lot of things, I sell a lot of things, so I need the space in the back to fit, you know, big items in my truck and all that kind of stuff to just to haul it, you know. And I definitely will be doing a lot of moving in the future, so I'd like to have that truck space, that you know. So probably getting a truck next again. I lost my vehicle last year, the year before, my Toyota truck, my 1990 Toyota truck, because I was not prepared to handle the engine breaking down, and I wasn't aware of how to fix stuff as well as I am now, today, a few years later. If it happened now, I definitely would have been able to take care of it, for sure. I would have known what I was doing with that V6. But the thing is, I didn't know enough then, so I just let it. I had to get rid of it. So I let it go for a very cheap price, and I lost like a couple thousand. I lost $1,000 or something like that on it. So you know that's what happens when you don't know about stuff. You know, you're gonna lose money, and that was a big reason why I started to learn, and that was a big reason, and thank God I did. You know, I'm almost thinking, you know, really thank God that I did. That did happen to me, because it was. Let's just say it was a last straw that broke the camel's back, because I actually went through another breakdown of another truck before that, and I lost some money on that one too, because of the fact that I wasn't a super professional auto mechanic, that I just didn't understand. I didn't have the time, or I didn't want to learn it, because I just was not into learning that stuff at the time. I was too busy with my other businesses and stuff. So now I made a priority this year to learn, and I can say that I'm very, very efficient, and I probably know a lot about engine, like how an engine works, and engine auto mechanics and auto mechanic repairing stuff. I just fixed my own axle. Actually, I think I got like a curbside mechanic about last week or 2 weeks ago, to help me with putting up my axle. Because my axle actually broke, and actually halfway down the road when I was actually coming back home a few weeks ago, driving home is normal, and all of a sudden, boom, the gear goes out of gear. Like the gear just stopped driving. There was no. I couldn't put, every time I pushed the gas pedal, it just went flat. It went like there was nothing going on. Even in drive, I tried to put in neutral, reverse, nothing was going on. The axle broke full on at the joint. After I fixed it and found out about it, it was at the joint, so that's why it wasn't catching nothing. So then I parked it, towed it back over here to the house, and then next thing you know, a few days later, I hired the mechanic to come over, and I ended up fixing the axle, my very first axle, my entire life, fixed my very first axle, and it was the easiest, probably easiest one possible you could do, an automatic Volvo, so it was probably the easiest one you could ever do. But I'm still super stoked that I got to actually fix the axle with the mechanic and stuff, because I actually did most of the work before he came over. Because the reason I hired, I paid him $80 because I actually wanted him to come over to make sure I was doing it right. And I knew if I wasn't doing it right, he would fix it, and I would see exactly how he did to fix it better. And it's exactly what he did. I didn't know that you had to tap it in more, about a 1/4 inch more, to meet the bearing, to make the bearing flush with the bearing actual holder on the car and the vehicle that's attached to it. And I didn't know you had to actually tap in the axle into the wheel itself, and like actually you really have to put a lot of force, and you do definitely need another person to like tap that in there. Like even both of us doing it, it took us like 20 minutes of both of us trying as hard as we can, pulling it in and tapping it in and winding it in before it actually went flush and where it was supposed to be. So I learned super good from a very professional mechanic how to install an axle, for sure. Like I know how to do it 100% for the rest of my life. You know, and that goes for that old saying. You know, you teach a man to fish. You know, you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach a man to fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. So that's why I hang out. That's why I spend so much time hanging out with mechanics, you know, watching the videos and stuff like that. Paying for live mechanics to come over and help me with stuff when it breaks down. Because all that live experience and all that experience you get from learning and being around them showing you how to repair this, repair that, do this, do that, fix this, fix that. Eventually, you end up becoming a professional mechanic yourself because you know how to do all this stuff. I already know how to fix radiators. If they bust and they start smoking, I know all you gotta do is just get some flux, put some flux on the radiator, get your blowtorch it, get some panties, and get some solder, put some some solder onto there, heat it up, put some panties on there, heat them up to the solder, mixes in with the pennies, and then right there, boom, you just fixed your radiator bust, for free. It probably lasts you your whole life. And if you didn't know how to do that, it could cost you $400, $500, $600 at the auto shop. So I like to hang out with very professional, auto mechanic repair guys. That's what I do. Is I watch like a gazillion videos of those, and I soak up all the information. And the main thing is I retain it. I don't just watch it and let it just fly out my head. I really make sure it sticks in my head and I remember how to do it. So what I do is I do very hyper focused, really paying attention and memorization of what they're doing. Like even at this moment, I know how to do this and that and this because for some reason, like if my eyes are exposed to it and I'm there and I'm like present and like I see it happen, it never leaves. For some reason in my head, like I can't forget it. Like it's just locked in. I know how to do that now. I know how to do this now. I know how to fix this part of the engine. I can fix that part of the engine. I know how this and that stuff works. I know how to fix a hose if it slits open in an accident from the heat or whatever like that. So like actually I just ordered a very expensive EOM light online, and it's actually a 3-in-1 diagnosing light. It's a regular light, right? Cost me like I think like $75 or like $100-ish bucks. So what it is it's a mechanic light, and for a nighttime you can like put it's a magnetized one, so it's like the big old light that you can put on top of your car hood or underneath and stuff, and just slap it on there, and it'll just get stuck, and so you don't have to hold it. You can have your hands free and be using your tools and stuff, and the light will be shining just fine. That's super important for a mechanic, and I got that. But the coolest part is it actually has a yellow light on it and a purple light. Okay, so the yellow light is for detecting smoke, so you can do like smoke tests and all that, and see if any smoke seeping out of here or there in your engine or any other component inside your vehicle. As well as it has the purple light for the dye, and that is sick as hell too. You don't see too many of those lights available. But they actually have them at EOM. And the thing is, with that light is, what it does is, so say if your car's leaking somewhere, or there's like or an engine leak somewhere, or some kind of hose leak, you can actually put dye in all your components and all that kind of stuff with that special engine dye or auto mechanic dye inside the glowy stuff, and then you use your purple light on top of there, and then boom, start up your car, rev it up a bit, get the juices flowing in it, and all of a sudden you'll actually start to see the dye. Eventually it'll seep out where it's leaking, and that's how you detect it. And then use that purple light, and then you actually see the glowy colored dye, the green glowy colored dye in the darkness and stuff. You actually see it glowing and spewing out of wherever it's so that's a very, very helpful tool. I know how to use it too. As well as I still have to order a whole bunch of diagnostic kits for this and that, the gauges, the AC, a whole bunch of engine diagnostic test kits and stuff like that, scan tools. I still need to buy a breaker bar, big breaker bar wrench for just harder to get off screws and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's really cool stuff. I'm learning all this stuff, and I'm ordering all the tools and all that kind of stuff, so I'll be very proficient. And it's all just experimentation, just solo experimentation and work, just because I want to. I'm also even doing my own recolor of my vehicle. Like I want to actually not have it like kind of plain green or lagoon green anymore. That kind of I actually was hoping to. I want to actually like paint it, I think black or green. I don't know. Either one. I don't know. It just depends. I have to look at a whole bunch of colors first, but I'm actually doing my own coloring of my car. So I have to sand it down, the whole thing, sand it down, sand it down properly so it's all nice and smooth and ready to go, and then prime it, and then spray it and respray it, whatever like that. Put all the, you know, protective covering on the glass and all the stuff, and all the wheels and all that kind of stuff. So, and the lights. So it's gonna be definitely a crazy project to work on. It's gonna be my first spray painting of my own vehicle, but I wanted to do it just for the practice, and it's probably gonna take way long. Like, I'm talking like a week, 2 weeks to actually make it happen, because it's gonna be my first go at it. I'll probably be like, you know, twice as fast the next round. But yeah, I can't wait for that. And it's actually gonna cost very little money. Actually, my uncle. Or actually, I was actually watching, not even my uncle, I was actually watching just a YouTube video of a really professional guy who does like painting and stuff like that, who does like auto mechanic works, auto mechanic parts seller and all that kind of stuff. He does like, he's just professional, and like he was doing his first actual coloring. He actually made it green. His car, it was like white or tannish, and then he made it green, like dark green. Sprayed it green. So like, yeah, I watched the whole video, seeing the whole process of how he did from start to finish, and super stoked on that. So I can't wait to try it out on my car myself. And this one, he did it green, but I want to do it black. I want mine to be cool, like black, or like something really cool color. Dark blue, dark green, dark red. I don't know. Just depends. I have to look at all the colors first and see which one I want. I like that professional black look, so I was thinking about doing black for sure. But who knows? I might actually see a really cool color I like. I just ripped the headphone piece out of my thing. There we go. Okay, so, yeah, super getting into auto mechanic work, auto mechanics repairing, super getting into auto mechanics in general, automobiles in general. Starting to learn a lot about that stuff. It's like this whole world that I just never really took time to like look into, and now I'm finally looking into it. So super cool stuff. Can't wait to learn more about it, and start making some money from it. Because I've sold automobile parts in the past, but like I'm talking like you know, like a slave cylinder, a Maxton cylinder, like engine parts, like a few pistons, and like maybe some lug nuts, and like just miscellaneous car accessories and stuff in the past on my eBay shop. But nothing like crazy major, like actual, you know, big chunks of the side, or like, you know what I mean, like side panels and whole windows, and like, you know what I mean, like whole engines, or like whole, you know, whole hemi tops, or just like whole anything, you know, like whole radiators, whole starters, like, or an alternator. I haven't done that yet, you know, but I do plan on doing that ASAP, like within this year, next year, start selling all that stuff. So super cool stuff with all that. Next up, besides the video games and the short film video games and auto mechanics, also gonna be doing some filmmaking. Yes, I've already actually made my very first short film movie, and the thing is, it was only about 10 to 15. It was a 15 minutes long. Let me see on top of my computer. I actually made the video the beginning of this year. Actually, I actually made it about 3, 4, 5 months ago. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, closer to 3, 4 months than 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure. So I made it probably like in like May or April of this year. And it's a 10 or 15 minute actual movie that I made. I actually put it on TikTok, and I did really well. I had a few thousand views on it, because I guess they thought it was funny or something. That was pretty cool. But it was actually for my new movie, Some Things Are Sacred. Actually, not. It wasn't even for Some Things Are Sacred. Let me see what movie it was for. Let me see. Where's my books? Apologize for this little delay. Looking for my books. Okay, here's my books. Okay, so it was for Floater the Skyfaller. So I made. Okay, so the craziest part is I actually flipped the names, the titles, because I thought it was just cooler. It just made more sense. Because, well, okay, so I'll just run through it. So I made 9 books so far. I've made 9 novels already. I've only fleshed out 3 of them, and I'm working on my 4th one right now. So the very first one I ever wrote was Bay Eyes. The second one was The Damned. Yeah, The Damned. And this is all these books, all these novels are actually available on Amazon if you guys want to check them out. You all you have to do is look up Chris Borges, The Damned, or Chris Borges, A Hawaiian Haunting, and it should, my novel should pop up on Amazon. Like, no problem. As well as my 3rd book was A Hawaiian Haunting. That's one I'm making that video game prequel for. And this very newest one, Some Things Are Sacred. There it is. There's the movie. Yeah, so I made a short film movie, like about 3 or 4 months ago, And this is actually, this isn't for Some Things Are Sacred though, because it became a whole new thing. This is actually for Floater the Skyfaller. This is actually, this is going to be after Some Things Are Sacred, my 4th novel I'm making right now. This is going to be actually my 5th novel that I haven't even fleshed out yet. So it's actually called, it says Some Things Are Sacred, but it's actually called Floater the Skyfaller. This is about the alien that lands in the backyard of the main character's house. And it's a 15-minute short. And yeah, like I did all the scenes myself. It's very, very B class. It's very, very like, it's like the dumbest thing ever. But it's like, it's me like attempting to make filmmaking and being an actor. So, and I did the whole scenes myself. Like, I was the filmmaker, the director, and the actor at the exact same time. So so that's what I was doing in this. I was actually making, so I was acting in it and doing filmmaking. So this is how you start doing filmmaking and start acting, is you actually just start making your own. So that's what I did. And it's just very funny because I haven't looked at any of this stuff in about like 3 or 4 months, 5 months. So, I edited it myself and all that kind of stuff, and it goes on for a while. I have like minute, 2-minute clips of it, but it's just very funny. I wish I could show you guys on top of here. But I'll show you guys on my YouTube channel maybe if I can't get it up on top of there. So it's just hilarious stuff, you guys. It's just me trying to be an actor and a filmmaker, so I can't show it to you guys right here per se on top of the thing right now. But I'll show it to you guys some other time once I start getting into it and working on that. It's just hilarious stuff because I did this one day like on my day off, like all by myself, and this is my first attempt at acting and making movies. And it's so hilarious when I look back on it now. Yeah, it's the stupidest thing, dude. But like, whatever. It's just super funny. So yeah, and I'm gonna be making more movies and all that kind of stuff. Doing more movies, more acting, and all that kind of stuff. Making more filmmaking stuff. So it's gonna be a really hilarious time. So we had that going. I'll be doing ZAPS. I'm doing ZAPS right now, and doing my reselling, my eBay, Amazon, eBay, OfferUp, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, all that kind of stuff. Mercury. What else do I got going? And the last but not least, I guess I'm doing Upwork, Udemy, and Fiverr. And altogether, I think that's about, let me just count that because I never really counted it yet. So that's 1 business, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so Upwork is like a online site where you actually apply for positions to work an online job, like doing whatever they ask you to do, whether it's you're like doing computer work or they're making you do stuff on the camera and all that kind of stuff, or whatever it may be, but you get paid for it if they hire you. So I've been doing Upwork a lot more too, doing Udemy and Fiverr is more like Upwork, where it's the exact same thing, but you actually just put your services up on that website, and then people will hire you on the spot. They'll actually come to you. You don't have to apply to them. They'll just pay for your service, and you do the service they need, like whatever service you do, whether you're like you're an animator, or you're a filmmaker, or they need you to do editing, or they need you to do like make an app, like a cell phone app, or they need you to do like a video game, make a video game, or write a book, or be a ghostwriter, or this and that, whatever have you. Yeah, that's what they make you do on Fiverr. Udemy, actually, on the other hand, is actually like a course where you actually like build courses for whatever you need. And if the course is like if you have really cool courses where you teach people how to make guitar, how to play guitar, or you teach people how to sing, or you teach people how to do this or that or the other, like whatever it may be, could be anything really. But if somebody really needs to be taught that, and you have that service on Udemy, they'll actually pay for your service, and you just get paid money for it. Obviously Udemy will take a small chunk, just like eBay or any other platform does. 10, whatever it is, 10, 15, 20%. But you'll still be making money for basically for all that hard work you did to making those tutorial videos. And that's what Udemy is. It's basically like literally a learning website, like a paid learning website, where like it's very intricate, detailed, hard stuff that people really need to learn on the spot, or they just don't have any other access to it. They'll pay whoever owns that actual video footage or whatever, or that actual course, and they'll actually pay for the courses. to teach them all this stuff. So that's what Udemy's about, and I actually plan on doing like a whole bunch of videos for that. Other than that, my very last one is obviously poker. Like I do like cash games and tourneys and all that. It's not really a job, but it kind of is if you think about it. Like you spend a lot of time doing it. It takes a long time to master and get very good at and actually make money from it. So let's just say that I learn every day as I go, and I've been playing for years and years and years. And you know, and it's poker. You know what I mean? You know. Of course, there's lock hands and there's lock positions where you have the very best possible hand at that very moment. But there's also moments where you have like, you know, top nut, you know, second to the top nut, and the guy will have just so happen to have the nut. You know what I mean? So that's basically what it's all about. It's that in a nutshell. You know what I mean? It's like, do you have the nut or the second best nut? And that's poker. You know what I mean? And you know, a lot of times if you have the second best nut, the guy usually has the nut. That's just poker for you. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes you lose. You know, even especially if you're gambling and you go in pre-flop, you're definitely setting yourself up for a lose a lot of the times if you're not waiting for that lock position on the Turner River. You know, on the river actually. So, you know, if you gamble, you know, saying you go all in with a really good hand, you know, yes, you have a better percentage to win, but it's still gambling. You still can lose, even though you have the best hand at that very moment pre-flop, or at the flop, or at the turn, because the river is the fifth and final say-all of the hand that determines who has the very best hand at that moment. So I tend to like to play. I tend to be a river rat. I tend to like to wait for the lock nut on the river, and then push all my chips in. You know, and you don't learn that unless you've played for, you know, 10, 20 years of solid gambling. You know, you just don't know how to really go about gambling, because after a while it becomes not really so much gambling, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So you have to play a very long time to understand that, but it's almost not even gambling at that point, because you're not gambling at that point, because if you have the lock nut, if you have the very best hand possible, that means you automatically win. You know, and if you play a lot, then you after a while you start to cherry pick your hands, and you're like, okay, I know this for sure. Most of the time I win with this, or most of the time I lose with that. So I'll throw that away and keep the winning hand. So that's how it's done. You know, and that's the level I'm at now. And usually when I play, I usually win a few $100s every time. Or let's just say at least I double my money. You know, whether I play for $5, $10, or $100, $200, or $1,000 or $2,000, or $5 and $10 grand. It doesn't really matter. I play for very small stakes, and most of the time, and then sometimes I play for very big stakes. And you know, that's just from years and years of playing. Because in the beginning, you're gonna lose a lot of money, just like anything else, any other trade, hobby, passion that you do, job that you do. You're gonna lose a lot of money in the beginning. That's just how it goes. It's the learning curve. You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a lot of money. You're gonna make big mistakes that you shouldn't have done. You're gonna learn a lot of things, but eventually you're gonna become like a master of that if you're very good at memorization, which I am, and eventually you'll be winning more than you lose often. You'll be winning way more than you actually lose. And when you lose a lot less. And when you win, you usually win a lot more. Because you understand that sweet spot after a while. You understand, like it's almost like you're almost telepathic. Like after a while, like you just know what they have. And you know what they'll fold if you bet too high. And you know what they'll probably call if you bet right in that sweet spot. So like you end up becoming like a cherry picker sweet spot kind of a player after a while. You know what I mean? Because you just know things. Like you just know, like, oh, if I go in at this position, he'll probably fold. But I know if, you know, or if I know I go in later, he'll probably call, kind of a thing. And, you know, it just sets you up for a very big wins most of the time, is all I'm saying is. And that's at the position I am, and that's why I play, you know. Because definitely, you know, I'm not going to lie, you know, I need money, you know, just like anybody else. I need money, so I play for money. And that's why I do it. I do it so I can make more money. And usually I leave with way more money than I started out with. Thank God, you know, thank God I found out about this, you know. And it's one of those things that, you know, if I was super rich, I wouldn't gamble at all. but it's just like it's to the point where like I'm not, so I gamble. So I gamble. I cherry pick gamble. I very much so. I play to win. I don't play to lose. Just like everybody else on there. But it's just at a level. Once you play for a very long time, you tend to win more than you lose. Let's just put it that way. So thank God for that. Thank God I do win. Knock on wood. But yeah, it's just the luck of the draw, man. And like you gotta just be prepared when those situations come. You gotta know sometimes to not throw in money, at certain positions. Don't hella raise when you got the nuts, when you got aces or kings or queens. Don't raise right off the bat pre-flop. Just call it, and somebody will probably like super jack high raise it, and then you just raise over him, and you might go all in at that point, or you might see a flop, and you just usually because if you re-raise the hell before anybody does, usually they'll know right away, like, oh, this guy has aces, kings, some huge hand. I'm just gonna throw my junk away, unless they want to play around, and they'll call with their junk, hoping to catch a top two or a set or a straight or something, a small set or a straight or something like that. So just very funny stuff, that's how poker is, man. And it's not a guarantee. It's never really a guarantee. You can only you can only prepare for so much for it, but the ones who's most prepared are usually the ones who just who scoop. Those are the guys who usually scoop. Are the ones who have a lot of experience in play and know how to play hands and stuff. It's usually those guys who the odds are more in your favor because you just understand the game more. So that's how I go about it. Other than that, that's all I got going for today, guys. Oh my God. Yeah, that's all I got going for today, guys. I thought my phone was down for a second. I'm looking at myself here inside the thing, and we went for about 15 minutes, so that's super good stuff. Super good stuff to a podcast. The more minutes, the better, especially on YouTube. That's how I get seen more, get some more subscribers. People get to know me more, how I talk, how I think. People love that. They love to pick my brain and see how I react, see how I think, and all that kind of stuff. So. People on YouTube probably eat this stuff up. So, I got no subscribers right now, but eventually I'll probably I would hope to get 1,000 subscribers because I'm trying to get paid for this stuff because I don't like to do this stuff for free. So, yeah, I'll only be posting up, really cool stuff, really good information kind of stuff. So, it's definitely worth subscribing to me. And it's crazy these days. It's super crazy these days with like subscriptions and stuff on YouTube. Like, guys who work hard on YouTube and like do this stuff, like if you have a really like cool, awesome channel, people like to watch your stuff. People will pay you $5 a month to like subscribe to your super extra in-depth kind of a thing. I know a few guys who do reselling and stuff like that, who do buying and selling and automobile parts stuff, that people love to subscribe to them. They'll happily pay $5 or $10 a month because they get to have literally direct content with that creator, whoever, like whatever niche they specialize in, whether it's automobile reselling, automobile parts specialist, automobile engine or repair, an auto repair specialist and all that kind of stuff, auto mechanic specialist, you know what I mean? It's like super professional auto mechanic guy or a super professional reseller guy. He probably has a lot of information or he has a lot of answers to the questions that you might have, so almost everybody's going to be willing to pay $5 or $10 a month, his little subscription like little thing up top by where his name is and all that kind of stuff, and his banner is on his channel, because they want that access to have direct contact, so they can message that content creator, possibly even talk to him and have a phone conversation about questions they have about the business, about this and that, anything, you know what I mean? And all that information is extremely valuable. So I may not have extremely valuable information just yet per se, because my niches are so, as you guys can tell, my job niches are very, very scattered and it's very diverse. But I'm sure if eventually down the road it's going to be very, very lucrative stuff for me to have all this information about all this stuff. So I just can't wait to get subscribers, get start a community, all that kind of stuff, and do really good things. Help people out with their problems on this stuff and get paid for it as well too. That really You know, I would definitely never make this stuff a full-time job, because all these jobs that I mentioned are not even my full-time job. My full-time job is I'm actually a prep cook, dishwash cook at a sushi joint here in Orange, California, in California. Um, that's my job right now at the moment. But I've had over 20 plus jobs in my lifetime. I've done everything from demolition work to construction work to roofing to home building to glass blowing to movie theater guy, making the popcorn, getting the tickets, sweeping up the floors, to Pizza Hut guy, delivering pizzas, making pizzas, doing orders, cleaning stuff up, to all kind of stuff, owning my own business, eBay shop, running running shops and stuff like that, having people under me, doing my clothes and all my items and stuff like that, taking pictures of them, posting them up, paying them like 10, 12 bucks an hour, whatever it was. I paid them like, I think it was like 10 bucks an hour, whatever it was. Um, and another person too who did my clothing and stuff, and another guy did my items. So I had people, I've had people work for me and stuff in the past, and I've had, I've done like furniture removal, furniture moving and stuff like that, and I've had people under my belt, like, pay them like whatever, 12 bucks an hour or whatever like that to help me, or whatever it was, half for the job to go move this furniture from here to there. All kind of stuff. I've been a truck driver, tow truck driver. I've been a repair guy. I've done at a repair shop. I've done like iPhone, like phones in general, iPhones, Androids. I've done music gear, wires, gadgets, you name it. I've been a repair guy. I've been a clerk, store guy, 7-Eleven guy, to kind of like just do person to person, cashier, register guy. Been that guy. I've done a plethora of fast food joints, doing frying, cooking, cleaning, cashier, dishwashing. I've been a whole bunch of stuff. I've done a whole bunch of jobs. I've been a the maintenance manager for a big expensive hotel slash huge corporation. I've been a whole bunch of stuff. Over my lifetime. I've had a lot of jobs over my lifetime. Always bouncing around jobs. So what I'm trying to say is, even though I have all these other gigs going on right now, I still always have a full-time job under my belt, because that's just the way I am. That's just how my mind works. I'm very, I love that steady paycheck. You know what I mean? I love that steady paycheck. I love, and I love digging into the system, because I love digging deep into the system as far as the job field goes, because you can actually find a job eventually that you actually like love doing every day. And if you find that, like, is there anything better than that, than finding a job you actually love doing every day? I don't know anything else better besides that. Besides owning $1 million, you know what I mean? And a beach house. I don't know what's better than that. So that's what I do, is I constantly dig and pry into the system, into like the job force and all that kind of stuff, to find my, and everyone's different. Everyone's, dream job is different. Some people like to be a golf caterer. Some people like to be a clothing design shop owner. Some people like to be a bartender. Some people like to be a pilot. It's very, very different and scattered for every single person. I haven't found mine per se yet, but I have a good feeling I'm going to the next few years. It's very much narrowing down to certain stuff. It's all about, obviously co-workers as well as the boss. So there's a whole ecosystem that goes into that, to the totality of, do you love your job a lot or not? That's what it boils down to. It boils down to the co-worker, the job you're doing, the people that you're around, the boss that's there around, bossing you around, all that kind of stuff. All of it goes into play. The location, everything. You know what I mean? All of it goes into play, into it culminating into like the perfect job for you. And a full-time job is the main source of everyone's income. So it has everything has to just click, you know. So it's very tough to make that happen. But it's definitely on my radar, and it's definitely on the forefront of my to-do list. So I'm definitely tackling that every single day, making that happen. So, with that being said, that's it for the podcast. We're reaching the red mark, the red heads up mark on my maximum recording time. So that's going to be it for ZAPS number 120, Zombie Apocalypse Pandemic Survival. You've been listening to Chris Borges, First of Beast podcast. Thank you all for tuning in today, and I hope you guys stick around for ZAPS tomorrow. And we're going to be leaving you off with some Mono. Definitely check out that band. It's a post-rock indie band, I believe from the greater Seattle area. Definitely highly recommend checking them out if you haven't done so already. Here's a song off of them called The Flames Beyond the Cold Mountain. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow on the next one.